Welcome to the episode of the Love and Reality Podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valero. On today's episode, I continue my journey through the season 1 on the CW show Fight to Survive, tackling episode 6 today. Before we dive in, folks, thank you guys so much for tuning in weekly as I break down this insane and incredible show. We are down to 10 people and 10 days on the series. Very exciting. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, thank you so much. If you could do me a favor, like, subscribe, all those funny business things that everybody asks you to do whenever you're on YouTube. Also, check out the Love and Reality Podcast on all podcast platforms. This recap each and every week is exclusive to the YouTube channel, but I do have some exclusive content that goes up over on the podcast as well. That being said, over the next couple of weeks, you can expect coverage of Love is Blind. Very excited to talk about season 5 with that. Of course, as we continue our Fight to Survive and the Challenge USA season 2 recaps on a weekly basis. Let's go ahead and dive right into episode 6 of Fight to Survive. Now, with that being said, we have Missy talking about how they have been proclaimed as bullies, and yet they talk about how it's a game. However, she's starting to kind of get caught up in her head about being called a bully. Amal isn't thrilled about this because she says that if this continues to wear and tear at her, she is going to eventually not be able to make it, which is very true. We only have 10 days, but the mental aspect of this game is just as important as the physical aspect of the game. And we've seen that with last week, somebody leaving the island just because of the little mental aspect of the game and Jonathan ending up leaving the game. Now, Nathaniel and team survives. Water supply isn't as strong as they had hoped. We have 10 days left, and Missy and Team Fight are talking about how they have 10 days and 10 days left to get rid of 6 people. However, they know that they won't be able to bang the drum because they don't want to risk going home. The Team Fight, our Team Survive does. Now they want to take the canteen away from Nathaniel, so they're planning to bang the drum. Jay is heading back to bang it to challenge him, and boy, we are ready for a battle. McKenna and Sarah have a chat about McKenna asks about using their mask. They could potentially work together. Christina is in this conversation. She says, no thanks. She tells the chat, which was hilarious, negotiate these nuts. I died of hysterics here. Found that very funny. Jay announces Akbar shows up, asks who banged the drum. Obviously, we do know that it was Jay. Jay announces that he's challenging Nathaniel, and Nathaniel is talking shit about how they don't need this, the canteen. They are just greedy. And then, of course, Nathaniel talks about having a wife and kids, blah, blah, blah. And then he says to Jay, do you have that? And then Jay says, you'll see them soon. That was actually a pretty good comeback. Nathaniel's talking about shit about how he knows Taekwondo, Kung Fu, whatever, blah, blah, blah. He has a background in wrestling. And then, of course, he puts some war paint on to get ready to go to battle. Now, the thing about it is what we know. What's at stake? Well, with Jay being the one that challenged Nathaniel, we know that if Jay loses, he's going home. If Jay wins, Nathaniel loses the canteen but stays on the island. Now, what I will say is one of the best moments of the show yet. As we know, they introduced the jumping and grabbing the totem to the mix. And we see Nathaniel jump up, snag it. And Jay doesn't even try to jump and get it. He just comes in and boom, Goldberg style spears Nathaniel right to the ground, gets on top of him. And I'm telling you, this is one of the best moments of this show so far. I mean, he flies up and just boom, nails him. They have a wrestle around a little bit. Nathaniel felt like he was twisting on the ground like he was an alligator. He was just doing that rolling thing. What is it? I forget what it's called. But he's rolling around like he's an alligator. And Jay rips the totem out of his hands and then taunts him on the way out. Again, another big-time victory for Jay in the competition. Yeah, what else? Nathaniel takes a massive L. And it wasn't really much of a competition here either. After all that chatter, talking about Taekwondo, wrestling, and all this stuff, he kind of kind of made light work to him, as he has done basically with everybody else in this competition. Kay has found bananas and Team Survive is excited, but shortly after one challenge, we have another challenge. Missy heads to bang the drum. She wants to challenge for the bag, and obviously we know that Christina got the bag from Robbie. However, Missy and Team Fight are trying to figure out who has the bag, so they know who the battle's going to be between. She wants to challenge whoever has the bag. She screams at Nathaniel a couple times. They're playing the game to figure out who has the bag so they can take it. Missy is struggling with that, with being food deprived. She's coming to talk strategy, brought some water to Team Fight. She said she knew that Jonathan leaving had something to do with her, and she has been playing stuff down with by kind of playing the victim. Christina knows that she isn't being honest. They asked who she's challenging. She says she's challenging for the bag. Of course, like I said, we know Christina has it. Missy talks about them having food. Sarah's talking to Missy, saying she knows that they are friends. And Sarah hopes that one day they can all go fishing together and have a big bonfire. But Christina is like, no thanks. Like, she's just like, I'll have none of that. Akbar steps up, asks who is about to do the challenge. Missy said she wants the bag. Christina steps up and says, I got the bag. Missy said she didn't know who had it. We got Christina versus Missy. Again, a quick battle to the totem up high. They wrestle around for a minute or two. Again, this is just another one that wasn't much of a competition. Missy just wrestles around, gets the best of her, yanks the totem out of her hand. However, as that happens, we hear Christina screaming because she thought she had broke her hand. The competition stops here. Christina said she heard the crack. Dr. Torres, our Fight to Survive doctor, stepped in and said there's a really good chance she has a broken bone. So they had to medically evacuate Christina out of the arena. He announces that the battle is a draw. Of course, Missy is slightly upset with, she kind of feels bad how things went down. We are on to day 16. The following morning, Missy taps the drum again because she wants to win the bag the real way. She taps the drum. She is scheduled to challenge Kay. Akbar announces that Christina has a hairline fracture in her wrist, that she'll be okay. Great to hear that. You never want to see, no matter what. I'm glad it was just a hairline fracture. I'm sure she, by the time now, I don't know when this is filmed, but I know by now she is feeling a lot better. So that's fantastic news. But it's time for battle. Missy banged the drum and wants the bag the real way. So Kay is the person she has to challenge. But he said that his team is battered and bruised and hands Missy the bag. Missy says she wants to win it the way that you're supposed to in the arena, per the rules of the game. However, Kay says he's giving it to her right now. Akbar asks if you're surrendering the bag. He says yes. Kay said he has people to look after and doesn't want to fight. So Missy gets the bag. Now, this is definitely an interesting dynamic here. We are 9 days away from being done. As we saw with Christina, she got in the ring, got hurt, and got evacuated. So she's not involved in getting this money now, right? So if you go in there and you go to battle with that, you get hurt, you're out. So you got to play the mind games here. And I do like what Kay did here because I truly believe that was a smart gameplay. Now, the big thing is we see in a next time preview for the show, something interesting is being introduced to the game. What is that going to add to the dynamic? What is it going to add to the teams? Is it going to be different? Is it going to be unique? I'm definitely interested to see how this all unfolds with next week's episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning into another episode of me breaking down the CW series Fight to Survive that airs weekly on the CW on Thursdays. I will talk to you guys next week.